Yesterday, Donald Trump had a total public meltdown and went to Truth Social to launch a vicious, personal, lengthy attack on someone whom I consider to be an inspiration, a personal hero, and a buddy, liberal Fox News host Jessica Tarlov, simply because Jessica dares tell the truth about Donald Trump and dares fact-check MAGA lies on Fox News, which humiliated Trump and triggered this meltdown. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we got a lot to cover, but we've got to start with this unhinged screed and rant and vicious, dishonest personal attack by the sitting president of the United States against a single Fox News host, the only sane one there, the best one there, simply because she does her damn job and she does it well. Imagine if a Democratic president ever said a fraction of this against a conservative commentator of any kind on mainstream or alternative media. Let's get into it. Trump says, why does Fox News allow failed TV personality Jessica Tarlov to soil the Five? Her voice, her manner, and above all else, what she says are a disgrace to television broadcasting. I've had the best poll numbers that I've ever had, and she's constantly saying the exact opposite. The just out highly respected Rasmussen poll is at 56%, Insider Advantage 54%, and many others are at 56 to 68%. Sadly, the audience has to listen to her spew off that I'm doing poorly in the polls, while I'm beating the Democrats by 15 percentage points, and more importantly, I just won an election against two candidates, Sleepy Joe and Kamala, in a landslide, by winning all 7 swing states and the popular vote by millions, with records broken everywhere. In all fairness to Jesse and Greg, who are terrific, they don't see all of these poll numbers and can't, therefore, come to my defense. But I can. Nobody can stand Tarlov. She lies over and over again, and MAGA is complaining, big league, that she's all over Fox. Watch their ratings go down by keeping her on the show. Nobody wants to listen to her. Why doesn't she talk about the fact that I had 0 illegal aliens come into our country last month, whereas Sleepy Joe Biden allowed 62,000 people in, many from prisons, mental institutions, and gangs? People like Jessica Tarlov make MAGA absolutely hate Fox. I don't even know where to begin there. Again, let's start with the fact that he personally attacked her. Her voice, her immutable characteristics. This is part of the problem. It'd be one thing if the sitting president disagreed with somebody based on the merits of their argument. Even then, you don't need to be vicious. But he's not only vicious and lying about the merits of her arguments, he's attacking her personally. I want you all to imagine what the reaction would be from Republicans, from MAGA, from Fox News, if a Democratic president ever said a fraction of these things against a conservative commentator, CNN Scott Jennings, Jesse Waters or Greg Gutfeld on Fox News, or Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, or somebody else in alternative media, Ben Shapiro. Imagine what the widespread backlash would be. And I sure hope that Fox comes to Jessica's defense on this, because she is the best person that they have on payroll. She's smarter than any other Fox News host, any other Fox News commentator, and the Five literally couldn't function well without her as a counterbalance. She has the toughest job in mainstream media. I've said it before and I'll say it again. She is outnumbered 4-1 by people who are competent hecklers and interrupters and trolls. She's constantly mocked. She has to deal with the heckling and the interruptions because she's always better on the facts. She has better arguments, better prepared, better defended. But she's outnumbered 4-1 on a network which is the de facto propaganda arm of the Republican Party that had to pay $787 million to settle the biggest defamation case in the history of the United States because they signal boosted Trump's defamatory lies about the 2020 election. That's how loyal Fox is collectively to Trump. That's how loyal the Fox viewer base is to Trump. And Jessica walks in a one-woman fact-checking army and dares tell the truth, dares give a dissenting viewpoint. It is a stunning, stunning display of competence and bravery, and Fox is lucky to have her. On the merits, when Trump is like, oh, I'm more popular than I've ever been. Well, let's take a look at Nate Silver's Silver Bulletin. Nate Silver was the founder of 538. 538, the most iconic poll aggregator in existence, is defunct. It's no longer there. ABC shut it down. So let's take a look. Updated June 21st. Nate Silver says, when it comes to the polls, this week has been a good one if you run a polling average, but a bad one if your name is Donald Trump. Why? We've seen lots of new polls released this week, which we enjoy, but almost none of them have been good for Donald Trump, which you'd imagine Trump doesn't enjoy. Prior to last week, Trump's approval rating had been on an upswing since hitting a low point on April 29th. His net approval in the Silver Bulletin average rose from negative 9.7 on that date all the way up to negative 3.6 on June 10th. But Trump has lost much of those gains over the past 2 weeks. As of today, his net approval rating in our average is negative 6.1. And the share of Americans who strongly disapprove or strongly approve of the job Trump is doing has fallen by 3 percentage points since the 10th. And it's not just his overall job approval. On immigration, by far his best issue, Trump's net approval rating is down to negative 3.8. That's the lowest it's been since the start of his second term. Trump's net immigration approval was plus 4 just 2 weeks ago. His approval on handling inflation and the cost of living has also fallen by nearly 6 points in the same period. This is the most iconic, whether you like him or not, and I have my beef with Nate Silver. I think he's an enlightened centrist, but when it comes to his expertise and his pedigree as a poll aggregator, he's top tier. Trump's disapproval rating is at 51.6%. His approval rating is at 46.1. Donald Trump is unpopular. That is a matter of fact. Now, Trump can rant about how he's more popular than the Democrats. You know what? I won't dispute that. Most polls say that Americans want Democrats to take control in the midterms, right? But it is true that right now the Democratic Party is pretty much at its polling nadir, the likes of which we have not seen in decades. So if Trump wants to go after, hey, listen, you want to complain about my approval rating, but I'm more popular than the Democrats, that's fine. And Jessica Tarlov would never and has never denied that. But let's look into it. Mediaite reports on this. Tarlov sends Trump into full Fox meltdown, claims MAGA is complaining about her big league. On the most recent The Five, sole liberal co-host Tarlov, in a discussion about the Los Angeles National Guard and California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, said that Trump is losing ground. I'm just saying you can't deny that the direction, and Greg, you always say directionally, where are we going directionally? Tarlov said, citing co-host Greg Gutfeld on polling, quote, it has been heading into the negative direction on every single major indicator of success for a president. Again, this prompted Trump to lash out. So let's take a look at the clip, apparently, that might have set Trump off specifically. Got to refresh the page.
Harry Enton, who gives the most enthusiastic reads of the big board, said Trump has lost the political battle when it comes to what's happening in L.A. He's minus 15 overall on how he's handling it and minus 24 with independents. Pew has new polling out, 49% saying he's gone too far, and 54% say that they disapprove of the workplace rates. And we know that he's also underwater on immigration in our own polling, minus 7 there. So when we say the people don't like this, they don't like it. That doesn't mean that Democrats aren't still unpopular. That doesn't mean, I don't know, if the election was held again today, Donald Trump might very well win again if it was
he will.
Yep.
He
would. I'm just saying that you can't deny the fact that the direction, and Greg, you always say, directionally, where are we going? Directionally, it has been heading in the negative direction on every single major indicator of success for a president.
So there you have it. As I expected, Jessica acknowledged the Democrats are still unpopular. And you know what? If the election were held again today, maybe Trump would win. She's not denying any of that. She's not denying any of it. But that's not enough. The fact that she's telling the truth about the negatives of Trump, the objective negatives of Trump reflected in the aggregate polling, that's enough to send him into a total fucking meltdown. Okay? Now, I want to play some other clips as well, but before I do, I would also, look, I can't imagine. Listen, I don't like Donald Trump. I don't respect Donald Trump. I think he's the worst president in the history of American presidency. But I can't imagine what it would be like to be personally attacked by this man who commands a cult of personality with a large segment, not all MAGA, not all Republicans, but a large segment of whose cult are vicious, violent, and delusional. I have no clue how Jess is feeling at the moment about this. Maybe she's probably used to it. It's not the first time Trump has called her out. But what I will say is it's important to lift her up at this moment. If you respect her work as I do, and I know most of you do, do a couple of things. Give her a shout out on social media. I did a poll here, or a post on my own channel here on the post section. I said, Trump just attacked Jessica Tarlov. Like if you support Jessica's amazing work. I don't know where the results are on that now. So nearly 1,000 likes already in 1 hour, 212 comments of support. Definitely do that. But also, in addition to her work at Fox, she co-hosts a podcast with Professor Scott Galloway called Raging Moderates. It's on Scott's channel, the Prof G Pod with Scott Galloway. And if you just do a YouTube search for Raging Moderates, you should definitely like and subscribe. And they also are on, everywhere that you can get a podcast, Apple, Spotify, others as well. Show some love, show some support for her and her work by liking and subscribing and lifting her up on all available social media if you can. Show Donald Trump that he is just dead wrong about this, and people love what Tarlov does and appreciate it. Now, having said that, let's look at some other clips as well, all right? So this comes from the same episode. And here's the point I really want to emphasize, because these clips, the theme of these clips, are all about civility. So I don't know what the timeline was with this. The 5, I'm pretty sure, debuts at 5 p.m. Eastern every day. I don't know if her 4 MAGA co-hosts, whom have often referred to Jessica as a friend, were aware of what their cult leader Donald Trump said about her publicly. But the theme of the next 3 clips I'm going to show you are about, maybe not this one. Oh, yes, it is. The clips I'm about to show you are about civility.
I hate to repeat myself, but not that much, because I want to emphasize how important it is that people stop feigning outrage when a Democrat insults Republicans. We're so past basket of deplorables when you say, oh my God, I can't believe she talks about Republicans this way. There are a litany of names that top Republicans, including our commander-in-chief, have called Democrats treasonous, un-American, scum, warped, radical, just a few of them. I don't want to hear the complaints anymore.
But isn't he talking about specific politicians?
No, actually, I have a list of that. So for Biden and Kamala, low IQ, dog.
No,
Yeah,
but
these
that's
are
what I just
elected
said.
officials.
No, these are I went back and looked because I knew we would talk about
as
this.
I would often say to Jim Acosta, give me the full quote of where
let's go
he
back to
insulted
2018
a
speeches.
broad swath of Democrats.
Haley,
do you have the
he
full
thinks
quote?
we're I will send you all the links.
You sound like Jim Acosta.
Well, and
okay.
here's the thing.
Look,
though, no matter what he says, he actually has a record of appealing to Democrats from across the aisle to bring those voters over into the Republican coalition, and Crockett does not have the same experience in coalition.
Yeah, so that was Mary Catherine Ham. There are a couple of things I just want to address this, and you're going to see it in this other clip too. That's Kayleigh McEnany, Fox News host, former Trump press secretary, and she always does this. It's okay when Donald Trump insults people because they grade him on a curve, and then she lies and says he only ever attacks specific Democratic politicians. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Yes, he often attacks specific Democratic politicians when he names them, but how many times have we heard Donald Trump refer to the radical communist Marxist, radical left lunatic Democrats? He's painting with a wide brush. He's referred to immigrants as vermin poisoning the blood of this country. Donald Trump engages in targeted personal attacks and widespread attacks against anybody who disagrees with him. He's insulted, attacked blue cities and blue states, Kayleigh McEnany, you moron. By definition, Donald Trump insults millions upon millions upon millions of people, not just Democratic politicians. And hey, if you think it's okay for politicians to insult people, Jessica's point is, don't clutch your pearls like a snowflake hypocrite and whine when Jasmine Crockett says something spicy about Trump supporters. If you can't take it, don't dish it out. But that hypocrisy and snowflakery is at the heart of the MAGA movement. And again, note the irony. At the same time that Kayleigh McEnany is patronizing Jessica Tarlov, either before, during, or after, Donald Trump makes a personal, vicious public attack against Tarlov herself. Is Kayleigh McEnany okay with that? Will she condemn that? Sadly, I doubt it. And then Mary Catherine Ham there, the lady on the end, who's a centrist, she's been on Bill Maher, is doing the same. Well, it's okay if Donald Trump insults people because he has a broad coalition. Jasmine Crockett doesn't. Jasmine Crockett is she was a freshman congresswoman. She's in her second, her second congressional year, this is her second Congress that she's in. She's not even a senator. She's a congressperson representing a very small district. We don't know what sort of coalition she would or could build. if she were the president of the United States or a presidential candidate. That's a really dumb cope to offer. I mean, my God, you just point to if any Republican has ever supported Jasmine Crockett, or if any Republican has ever supported a Democrat, I guess they get a blank check to insult the other side, right? Because they have a broad coalition by definition. Miss me with that shit. Such cope from bad faith hypocrites who want the right to say whatever they want, whenever they want, about whomever they want, but they don't want to have to deal with a fraction of that energy in turn. And they say it at a time when Trump is viciously attacking one of their own. One last clip on this.
Experience in doing that.
Oh, that's what you
I
said.
assure you, you will not find Hillary Clinton basket of deplorables. Biden, Republicans are clear and present danger, Neanderthal thinking, they're garbage. Obama, bitter, they cling to their guns, religion, antipathy. These were about voters. And I have challenged many Democrats. Give me all the quotes from Donald J. Trump smearing half of the country. They don't exist. To Jesse's exact point, those are about specific elected officials. Maybe you don't like them? Fine. He doesn't smear half the country.
That's a lie. Again, he has repeatedly insulted California, New York, Los Angeles, blue cities, blue states, by definition, millions of Americans. Kayleigh McEnany is objectively wrong. She will always lose that debate. And I would love to see a prepared Kayleigh and a prepared Jessica hash out that disagreement. Kayleigh's a liar, a bad faith liar. She knows better. She's just hoping that you don't have the quotes on hand. We have the quotes where, again, Trump has referred to immigrants, just immigrants collectively, not a specific immigrant, immigrants. Millions of people as vermin poisoning the blood of this nation, attacking blue cities, blue states, Democrats, referring to them as communist, radical left, Marxists, destroying this country. Where's the attribution to a specific politician or multiple specific politicians? Kayleigh's lying. And we could go into how when Hillary Clinton referred to the basket of deplorables, she went out of her way to say she's not referring to all Trump supporters. We could go back to how President Biden repeatedly said he's not referring to all Republicans or even most Republicans. They give caveats. Democrats give caveats that Republicans simply don't, that Trump simply doesn't. So again, she's destined to lose this debate and will lose it every time. Circling back, however, I want to close with this. Trump attacked a Fox News host for telling the truth. And I don't know how his MAGA base will react. I imagine it's going to be quite vicious. I can tell you, though, if you do a search on X for Trump Tarlov, what you will often find is messages of support for what Jessica does. Okay? People like a friend of the show, Waja Ali, and others are lifting her up, calling this is a badge of honor, Jess. And it is. Jess, if you're watching, everybody, the people in my audience, we're proud of what you do. You have the hardest job in mainstream media. You kill it. And Donald Trump wouldn't be so damn triggered if he were what you said. The fact that you are not what he says, the fact that you are successful, the fact that you are formidable, the fact that you are landing the proverbial punches is why he's so pissed and so triggered. So keep it up. In the meantime, folks, make sure you like and subscribe, not just to my channel, but again, you go find the Raging Moderates podcast that Jess co-hosts, and let us know what you think in the comments.